Passenger Seat Radio. It's December 22nd, 2025. You are on my 13-mile commute home. Welcome to the show. You know, I realized that since I moved to the new office, I'm now 15 miles away from home. So I guess I have to change my intro. C'est la vie. Well, listen, my wife is down sick, which I know sounds tragic, but it means she's in bed and probably won't be trying to call in the middle of the show. So maybe I can actually get a full episode out this time and not get interrupted. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not super hopeful. Somebody will end up interrupting. But anyway. So I've got tons of fun stuff to talk about. So if you remember from the last episode, maybe it was the episode before, I was talking to you guys about records and 8-tracks and all this cool physical media format stuff. Well, I talked about something called the Hits of the 60s, my very first owned piece of physical media. And I mentioned that I'd like to own it again, but it's really hard to find things like that. And for those of you who missed out, I'll give you a brief recap. Like, when I was like 9, maybe 10 years old, my parents got me a record player, right? And I always borrowed their records or something, but I never really owned my own physical media. At a yard sale, I remember getting this I might have only had 3 of the 4 records, but I knew there was supposed to be 4 records of this collection I thought it was called Hits of the 60s. It's actually number 1 Hits of the 60s. And I remembered that one little thing. This would have been a lot easier to find. The only thing I remembered was some of the tracks, right? Because I had some of my favorite songs were on there. But I remembered that each record had a different colored, very plain label. That should have been enough to kind of find what I was looking for. But I don't remember there ever being any logos, no Capitol Records, nothing that would like help you narrow down what it was. Well, Javier, vinyl enthusiast, friend of the show, he helped me out, and we did some searching, and believe it or not, I found him. I found the number 1 Hits of the 60s in all of its glory. All 4 pieces of vinyl, excellent playable shape, in the box, $13, delivered on eBay. Amazing, you can buy your childhood back right off of eBay, no problem. So I got him, I did a little video. Let me tell you how hard this goddamn video was. So I knew I had to make it, I knew I had to do an unboxing of it and playback on a YouTube short, because you can get away with, basically copyright infringement if you do a short. I don't know why it's different, but it turns out there are rules even for shorts. I thought you guys might find this interesting. So my friend Javier, he does this thing every week called First Spin of the Weekend. And basically he picks an album, he plays a song, and he shows his vinyl spinning, and he shows the record cover. It's pretty cool. It's classy, it's neat, and I kind of look forward to it every weekend. I'm upset when I don't get to see it. He was gone. He was on vacation or something for like 4 weeks, and I think I even had to put one up there because I felt like I was missing something. But anyway, and he never gets a copyright hit. And it turns out that YouTube Shorts are remarkably agile when it comes to ditching copyright hits, right? Well, it turns out. So here's what I did. I recorded the unboxing, easy. And then I recorded like less than 60 seconds of a track on each of the 4 records so that I could show each color spinning on the turntable. That makes sense, right? Little montage of playback. Gene Chandler's Duke of Earl was one of them. Love that song. The Archies' Sugar Sugar was another one. And then oddly enough, I think I had 2 Monkees songs. Last Train to Clarksville. And what was the other one? Crap. The one I had to get cut. Anyways, the one that was on Shrek. I'm a Believer. I'm a Believer is like trying to upload the Eagles to YouTube. So I recorded the video. I shot the video, chopped it up. Everything had like I said, under 60 seconds of audio. So I upload the short, bam, copyright hit. Fuck. Okay, so it's like, YouTube shorts must contain less than 60 seconds of copyrighted material. And I'm like, okay, so one of these must be running long. So it turns out I'm a believer. I ran for like 62 seconds on the video, right? So I chopped it down to like 30 seconds because, that's a popular song. And, I figured that would be something that the kids would enjoy. So I chopped it down, reproduced it, re-uploaded it, bam, copyright hit. What the fuck? So now I'm back looking at the other songs. There's another song that might have ran a little bit long, so I chopped that down. So it doesn't tell you, is it 60 seconds total of copyright or 60 seconds for each clip that might be copyright? Don't know, right? So it turns out that once I started digging to the third upload that I did that got hit, it does not like me having I'm a believer. Not 60 seconds, not 30 seconds, no seconds. So that had to go. I think I just clipped it out. So there were 3 songs instead of 4. But anyway, so I was really excited. I mean, outside of the fact that a stupid 2.5 minute short took me like 3 hours to make, which is such bullshit, by the way. So anyway, so that was sort of that experience. But it got me thinking when I was playing those records, and I literally just put them on and played them in the background. I started hearing something that didn't sound right. Now, if you remember, if you're old enough to remember shit like this, I'm going to share some of my good love old music type stuff. If you remember, way back when, music was monaural, right? There was no stereo, there was no separation. It was just one track, one audio track, mono. And AM was mono. When FM came along, it was mono too for a while, and then FM became stereo, and then you started seeing stereo records, stereo cassettes, stereo, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, so in the early days of stereo, artists really tried to play with it. Nowadays, like my wife, she can't hear stereo, and I don't know how that's possible. How do you not hear the distinct separation of music? But she can't hear it. It's like her kryptonite. She can't hear audio separation, which makes me crazy. But if you look at some of the early music that was part of that transition period of mono to stereo, the Beatles do it. Tommy James and the Shondells did it. There's very distinct separation. Nowadays, stereo doesn't mean anything to anybody. So the music just sounds the same. If you crank it to the left or crank it to the right, all the music sounds the same. It might as well be mono. But in those strange days of experimentation, whole instruments and even vocals or backing vocals would be on different channels. So let me give you a good example that you might be able to go look up. The song Mirage from Tommy James and the Shondells. If you go look that up and you find the stereo recording of it, part of the vocals are on one side and part of the vocals are on the other. So you'll literally be listening to the song and all of a sudden the vocals disappear. It's almost like a karaoke track. All the vocals disappear to the other side. You know how I know this? Because my goddamn car as a teenager, the right-hand speaker was out in the car. So any song that would play that had distinct right channel audio, couldn't hear it in the car. And that song in particular always pissed me off. I also had, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this, I also had a pair of headphones that one side used to always short out. And whether you cared enough or not to fuck with the cord long enough to get it to work, or you just went without, which a lot of people did, you just go without one of the channels. But if the song you're listening to happens to be a Beatles song or Tommy James or one of these songs that really aggressively use one of the sides, you were out. So this goes back to me listening to these songs again on this turntable that was, by the way, very much appreciated, donated to me by above mentioned Javier. He sent it to me for free. And I never really noticed I never really noticed an audio separation. Well, some of the songs on hits of the 60s, I'm sorry, number one hits of the 60s, some of those have very aggressive audio. And so I was listening on one channel. So I was listening going, why does this song sound kind of wrong? Because it's the speakers are all built into the bass, right? So whether it's right or left, you can't really tell. And I never put on headphones on there, so I didn't know. So it turns out like the right channel is kind of dead on that turntable. So I'm thinking, you know what? I love the fact that Javier sent this to me. It's almost like a keepsake at this point, but I kind of want a turntable that works, right? And so I started looking at turntables. Now listen, I'm not a vinyl aficionado. I am not a vinyl collector. I don't know a fucking thing that's going on, right? I mean, I am but a dabbler in the dark arts, right? So of course I reached out to Javier and said, hey, I'm looking for something that's like under $100. You know, I mean, listen, I'm not that guy. I don't need a $500 turntable. And so I asked him to give me some suggestions. And one of the things, if you saw that video that I did on the hits of the 60s, you'll notice that the place that I have the turntable is on top of this little beverage refrigerator. Not a lot of footprint on there, so don't have room to play. So I don't have room for speakers or an amp or anything else. So I was kind of looking for something like I already had that sort of had the speakers and stuff built in. And I was informed by all good audiophiles that was not the way to do it, that I should have discrete speakers. It has a preamp built into this turntable he recommended. So I did decide to go. There was a turntable. It's from Insignia. You know, that's the Best Buy brand, right? They're so they have a turntable. It was like half price or 40% off. Something well under $100, but it was normally like $160 or something. So very cool. So I ordered it, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck am I gonna plug this into, right? And if you look around, you can actually find speakers, amp and speakers that are in the shape basically of a record player that you put underneath the record player. I was also told that was a bad idea because the resonance and whatnot, the vibration of the speaker could actually cause the record to skip. Something you don't think about when you're throwing a CD in, right? I go, fuck, what am I supposed to do? I have no room on this footprint to put speakers, an amp, or anything like that, a receiver. And so what I decided was remember that really big fucking cool boombox I found at Goodwill probably about a year ago at this point, a bunch of months back. It does have an auxiliary in, so I'm going to use that as my amp, and I'm going to put the record player on the shelf above it, and everything should be great. So I'm excited. It should be here today, in fact, my new turntable. So I'm very excited to get that hooked up, hoping to God I've got the right set of cables for it, because it's RCA on the back of the turntable, but it is 1/8" jack in for the aux in on the boombox. So I got some cabling to find. I'm pretty sure worst case scenario, I've got some in the back room, but we'll see. So I'm very excited about that. Excited about my records. I actually found a stack of records in storage. Neither my wife and I can figure out where the hell those records came from. She claims they're not hers, and they certainly weren't mine. There's a bunch of Disney stuff in there, though. And I'm sure Disney, I don't know if Disney records go for anything or not, but suffice to say, let's see. Do you already hear the deck top for the Steam Deck? What's that? About the deck top? I'm not sure what that is. Sorry, it disappeared. I'm driving. Are you talking about like the little screen that goes on top of the Steam Deck? I don't know. If you write something else in the chat, it'll pop back up. I don't know how to pin it so that it's always on there for whatever reason. Pain in the ass with this app. But damn, I'm making really good time. That's the holidays downtown Phoenix. The holidays, everybody scatters, so the drive's a lot easier. But anyway, so I'm excited about my new turntable. That's exciting. Now let me tell you the not so fun story that I've been dealing with right now. So my wife really wanted a Switch 2. Fuck. It didn't come up. I still couldn't see it. There's got to be some way for me to pin the chat so that it's always up. I don't need to see my fucking ugly face. I do need to see the chat though. Sorry, I'll do my best when I hit a stoplight or something to go back and review what you guys are writing. Sorry about that. So my wife wanted a Switch 2. Well, she wanted the bigger screen. My wife's weird about video games. So she wanted a Switch 2, and I got her one at launch. And she's been enjoying it as a handheld device for some time. Now that she's on her break from school, she wants to... sorry, traffic's a little bit hairy right here, and nobody's letting me fucking in. Let me go. Fuck it. I'll go to the next exit. Since everyone's being a dickhead. Yeah, so we got her a launch day one. She's been playing it handheld. She's had a good time with it. She likes it, whatever. Listen, happy wife, happy life, all that good shit. Well, she wanted to plug it into the TV. Now, when I first set the Switch 2 up and I did some videos, blah, 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 I had some trouble with the dock. Like, it wouldn't, fire up. When you put the Switch in the dock, too much fucking verbiage here. When you put the Switch in the dock, it would lock up. It wouldn't ever come on. You couldn't power it up in the dock. And I'm going, what the fuck's going on with this? And I figured, you know what? Okay, listen, it's launch day blues. Let it ride. And I guarantee you in a month, they'll have all the shit figured out. And dude, really? You just cut me off. I should ram you in the ass for that. I figured they'd have that all figured out, right? Give it a month, let it patch. Well, she never cared about the dock. She didn't care about it on the TV. So it's whatever. I'm not going to worry about it until she's worried about it. Well, now all of a sudden she wants to play it on the TV. And the dock problems are still there. It's very strange shit. So let me tell you what happens. If it's in the dock and it's in sleep mode, hold the button down. I think I just lost the connection. I don't know. Somebody let me know if it's still working. I don't know. Last time this happened, you already hear about the deck top for the Steam Deck. I have no idea what that is. Is one keyboard made for Steam OS? I have no idea. Post a link or something in here. I'll take a look later when I'm not busy driving. But anyway, so if you okay, let me start over here. If you have the Switch and it's turned on, you put it in the dock, it locks up. Take it out of the dock. If it's powered off and you put it in the dock, hit the power button, it won't power up. If you're in sleep mode while it's in the dock and you try to power it on, it locks up. The only way out is to long press the power for 20 seconds and then restart it. The only time you can get the dock to work is when you first turn it on, the Nintendo logo comes in and you get it in the dock before the main screen comes up. It's the only way to make the dock work. It's a complete clusterfuck. Nobody else that I know that has a Switch 2 has this problem, so it's unique to me. So I get on the horn, right? I didn't want to call. I was doing some other shit, so I got on the chat, Nintendo's chat. It hasn't really worked since the day we got it out of the box, but I figured you guys would have some updates and everything would be fine, but it's still not working. And they're like, so what do you expect? So I typed in all this shit. And it's like, I need you to do some troubleshooting for me. And I'm like, well, she's playing it. I can't troubleshoot it right now. Well, give us come back to the chat when you can troubleshoot with us. So I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so I did some of my own research. I found all of the shit that Nintendo's going to ask me to do. It's all been posted in great detail on Reddit and other places. I tested everything that they said. Still doesn't work, right? So now I'm back on Nintendo's chat again. I'm like, okay, so I have a problem with my dock, blah, blah, blah. And I went through the whole spiel again. And the same thing happened. They're like, well, we need you to have the unit in front of you. And I'm like, wait. I know what you're going to ask for. Here is everything that I've tried. I ordered another dock, a third-party dock, I tried replacing the power supply because it can be twitchy. I replaced the cable between the power supply and the dock because that can be a problem. I tried it all. It still doesn't work. And essentially they're like, well, what we need you to do is to set it up. We need you to have a dedicated television, an HDMI 2.1 cable. We need to see all of this, a screenshot and these pictures. And I'm like, dude, fuck that. Life is too fucking short, right? I tried a third-party dock, same problem. I did all of this shit. Come on. So then the option was to maybe go buy a dock, a new dock, and swap it, right? Do a little swap. There's no serial numbers on there. You could hot swap that dock. But they don't sell it outside of Nintendo.com. So then that's $129 for a dock. You Steam Deck people need to calm the fuck down when you hear about a $50 dock. You ain't paying $120, $130 for that shit. But anyway, so they don't sell it anywhere outside of Nintendo.com. I'm like, fuck it, right? So I basically told my wife, just live with it. Well, then yesterday, she fires up her game, right? Because we're playing the dock switching game now. Whereas when she wants to play, I take it out of the dock, I hard power it off, I power it on, slide it into the dock real quick, and she gets to play. Then she puts it to sleep, and we wash, rinse, and repeat the next day. Huge pain in the ass. I taught her how to do it, and so she writes me today. Of course, I'm at work today. She writes me at work and says it won't power on at all, and I'm like, well, did you hold the power? She goes, the Nintendo logo comes up, but it won't get any further than that. And I'm like, fuck. And so I'm sorry. Wait. I missed a step. So last night we put it in the dock. We do our little dock shuffle, and she tries to run Disney Dreamlight Valley. Boop, software's crashed. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, okay, let me shut it off again and bring it back online. Disney Dreamlight Valley. Software's crashed. Fuck. So I'm like, okay, use one of your other profiles and see if the game will load. Goes into the other profile, game runs fine. So her profile for that game got corrupted. I should have seen that as bad things to come. So today when she tried to do it, where are you going, pal? I love these people that anticipate the green light and they're halfway through the intersection. It hasn't even turned green yet. Hey, retard. So now it'll boot to the Nintendo logo, and that's it. It's done. So I'm guessing, I don't know. Either like the micro SD card is corrupted or internally. My guess is there's something wrong, either internally hardware-wise. She's probably dropped it and didn't want to tell me. That's a possibility. My wife is butterfingers with electronics. So that could be it. Or I'm told that the cache of the system can corrupt. Yeah, this is great. I love this system. Yet the Steam Deck was a pain in the ass. So apparently you can go in and wipe the cache without wiping any game saves or any of that shit. So I was going to actually end up trying that at some point, but now it came and booted. So now that I'm on my way home, right, I can actually, disassemble the thing, pull all the cards out, try to force it to boot, whatever. In the meantime, because I'm kind of curious now, is what's wrong with the dock? If the third-party dock doesn't work, right, and pretty much any sort of HDMI out has the same problem, it's got to be the unit, right? And according to everything that I read, the USB-C subsystem is incredibly fragile. So much as a speck of dust in the fucking port can cause it not to work right with the dock. They say that the USB-C daughter board is fragile and it could have problems, especially with launch releases, right? So remember, I got the very first run. So I'm very uptight about this. So now I'm curious, will all of the money and time and effort about the dock and the extra power supply and the secondary dock and all that other shit, will it simply turn out to be a problem with the unit itself? Well, my wife just started her vacation, and all she wants to do, her special Christmas wish, if she can have anything in the whole wide world, all she wants to do is sit on the couch and play the Switch 2. So being the good husband that I am, I bought her another one. It's actually sitting there in the box, sitting at home right now, waiting, of course, for me to set it up for her. So what am I going to do, right? Well, I believe that whatever's wrong with her unit is fixable. So the new one that I bought for her, I got from Walmart. I've got till January 31st to return it. Easy peasy. I let her enjoy her vacation on the new Switch 2 while I worry about what the fuck's wrong with her old Switch 2. Sending it to Nintendo, having it RMA'd, whatever I've got to do. Happy wife, happy life. And that's kind of where I sit with it. But it's incredibly frustrating. You know, I have never once been told that I need a picture proving that I'm using an HDMI 2.1 cable. The fuck is that? And, you know, everyone is chastising. You shouldn't have used the chat. You should call them on the phone. I'm like, dude, they're using a script, man. Both of them said the same shit. They want me to do all this intricate testing of the dock. They want pictures. It's like, what? Get the fuck out of here. What happened to customer service, man? Didn't just walk out of here out of the cotton fields, God damn it. I know how to troubleshoot hardware. So anyway, so the whole Switch 2 debacle is a huge pain in the ass. So that's what I'll be doing the rest of the evening probably, is setting her Switch 2 up, getting everything done, and hoping to God that Nintendo Online kept all of her data from her games, because otherwise that's going to be a whole nother thing. Yes. No record player for me tonight. I will have to work on the Switch 2 instead. So I have been playing the much dreaded game Avowed. So I was recommended by a good friend of the channel, Chad, that Avowed is a lot like Skyrim. It scratches the Skyrim itch, which is always welcome. But I also know that Avowed has plenty of controversy surrounding it. How would you call it? Maybe some woke problems or some political identity problems. And I did. I watched some of the videos early on. You know, Obsidian is like this huge respected company. Microsoft, I think, bought them. God only knows what they were thinking if they put identity politics into the shit. But I kept getting told that I need to check out the game, that it's going to be right up my alley, blah, blah, blah. So I did what any good red-blooded American would do. I pirated a copy, and I played it for 2 hours. And once I got through the basic tutorial shit, and I realized, yes, this feels like Skyrim. Yes, it scratches that itch. Yes, I love the battle mechanics. And I said, you know what? I will buy this. I'm going to stop playing the pirated copy. Gentleman pirate, right? I'm going to stop playing the pirated copy, and I'm going to wait for a deal, because there's no fucking way I'm spending full price on this game. Not if it's going to end up pissing me off halfway through, telling me that I shouldn't be using, he, she, right? Whatever. So I waited, and the best part about copy protection or price is that it's always subject to time. You wait long enough, de novo gets dropped. You wait long enough, the price comes down. It's just a matter of being patient. So yes, it finally got down to like 40% off or something. So I think I paid $35 for it during the sale, something like that. That's the price I wanted to pay. It was somewhere in the $30 to $40 range. There you go. So I picked it up, and that has been all I've been doing for like the last 4 or 5 days, is just playing Avowed. Arc Raiders got a break. Everything got put on hold. I'm not even sure I showered in the last 4 days. That's all I've been doing. I've got like 25 hours on the game since I started over with the real legitimate copy. So plus the extra 2 hours I threw on top of that. So there you go. So I've really been enjoying it. It definitely does scratch the itch. It's got that Skyrim feel. The battle mechanics are great. Story, so-so. Characters, so-so. It's a little bit generic. The music's not that great. Chad pointed that out. It's like, oh yeah, where is the music? There's really not much going on. But I'm enjoying it. Well, I see my wife just pinged me, so if I do not respond, she will call. We've had a pretty good show, though. I got out what I needed to. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Take care. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.